1994, far in the northern reaches of Finland, the land itself seemed wounded, scarred by war and frozen in endless twilight. Here, where the forest stretched like dark sentinels and the ground was cracked with frost, a solitary figure trudged through the desolation. His name was Aatami. He carried nothing but a battered sack heavy with gold and the quiet weight of a man who had survived more loss than words could hold. Once he had been a soldier, now he was a ghost. No home, no flag, no memory that didn't ache. The gold he clutched was more than just precious metal. It was the last hope of a shattered life, the key to a future not yet written. For Aatami, it was a chance to begin again, to escape the ruins of war, and perhaps to forget the faces of the fallen who haunted his dreams. But in a world gripped by conflict, hope is never safe for long. War is greedy, and its hunger does not cease when gunfire fades. One cold afternoon, as Aatami pressed on through the wasteland, he was spotted by a band of retreating Nazi soldiers, men desperate and ruthless, their eyes sharp with suspicion, their hearts hardened by defeat. They saw only a lone wanderer, easy prey. They took his gold, laughed at his silence, and left him battered in the dirt, another casualty forgotten by history. They never asked his name. They never wondered what stories lay behind his quiet gaze. But they should have. For Aatami was not simply a man wandering the ashes of war. He was the last survivor of a fallen battalion, the shadow who had faced death and watched it turn away. Beneath the scars and silence was a will forged in fire, a spirit unbroken by loss. He had learned that survival was not just about enduring, it was about remembering. And about honoring the sacrifices of those who never made it home. As the Nazi soldiers fled with his gold, they believed they had left him behind. They crossed rivers, rode trucks, and hid behind the smoldering remains of villages. But each night, when the cold settled in and fear crept into their dreams, Aatami returned. He moved like winter itself, silent, relentless, unyielding. He fought not with blind fury, but with the steady force of memory. Each confrontation was a reckoning. Each enemy defeated was a tribute to comrades lost. The names he could still see engraved on weathered tombstones, the faces he carried in his heart. For Aatami, vengeance was never the goal. Each bullet fired, each blow struck, was a promise fulfilled, a silent vow to those who had fallen beside him. And when the last of his tormentors faced him, pleading for mercy, Aatami did not answer. There are no words for justice born from so much suffering, only the quiet certainty that some debts cannot be paid in coin or blood. When the smoke cleared and silence returned to the frozen land, Aatami stood alone once more, the gold restored to his hands. But the treasure was not what truly mattered. In the aftermath of violence, with the world as broken as ever, there remained something that could not be taken: dignity, resolve. The unyielding soul of a man who has lost everything, yet still chooses to rise from the ashes. This is the story of Aatami, the man who refused to die. In the end, his true victory was not in reclaiming gold or exacting revenge, but in proving that even in the darkest times, the spirit cannot be extinguished. Some things in this world can be taken, broken, even burned to ash, but not the will to endure, not the courage to begin again, and not the soul of a man who stands alone, yet never truly defeated. The turning point where true stories touch the soul.